Hello, everyone. It's Richard here at Calvin Wazoo, and we're up to episode number 16 for recent finds. And today it's electronic and experimental music. So I've got some new acquisitions in that realm. I've been adding a lot, and so I've kind of grouped them into the different categories, and I still have some new records to get into the series, but let's get going with this particular episode. And the first one I want to show you was kind of a surprise when I saw it in the store, and that's this here, Plantasia. All right, so this is a project by the composer Mort Garson, and with a series of pieces that are on Moog synthesizer. And this originally came out in 1976, but this is a 2023 reissue that is also, I still got it on the shrink wrap there, but on this fern green vinyl. And it comes with the Mother Earth's book with a description about the different songs. These are songs that are written for plants and for plant lovers. This was a sort of cult collector's item for many years. Okay, so it came out in 1976, but in order for you to get a copy of this record, you either got one for free when you bought a house plant from the Mother Earth store in LA. So this is, Mother Earth News, which was popular in the 70s. I used to read the magazine, but there was a store, Mother Earth, in LA, and so they would give you a copy of this record. The other way you could get one is if you bought a Simmons mattress from a Sears outlet store. All right, so we're talking about really limited distribution of this record. And so, not a lot of people had it, but oh my goodness, did it attain a cult status. So that, OGs of this on average go for $175. Now, of course, it's very affordable. This is a $25 record. And as I say, Moog synthesizer music for plants. I mean, there's the theme opening track, Plantasia, but then, the titles of the songs are reflective of the plant they're perhaps intended for, such as Symphony for a Spider Plant, or Concerto for Philodendron in Pothos, Rhapsody in Green, Mellow Mood for Maidenhair, You Don't Have to Walk a Begonia. So, and it also came with, as I go pull it out here, oh, it's inside the sleeve, that's right. It does come with a, where is it? Okay, it slipped inside the paper sleeve. There we go. It comes with a download card. Oops. So there, you can screen grab that. But this download card has seeds, wildflower seeds embedded within it. So you can place this under a thin layer of soil and water daily until the seedlings are well established. So, you can grow a plant, from the download card. After, if any of you, the first person who gets the number, you got it. But anyway, the needle drop I am going to play for you is Ode to an African Violet. It's got kind of a world music feel to it, that particular track. I wouldn't say it's necessarily African in sound. It actually is a little more East Asian in sound to me in some respects, maybe with a little Caribbean feel. I don't know. It's a decent album. So, and now it's affordable and readily available in several color variants. All right, next record is, a dance house classic, I guess you could say, and that is Homework by Daft Punk. All right, so this originally was released in 1996. My copy is a 2022 repressing. Nice gatefold, very, as you can see, very shiny, heavy-duty cardstock. So Homework was released in 1996. Daft Punk, initially the members of Daft Punk, the two founding members, Thomas Bangalter and Guy Manuel de, let me see if I can get his name right, it's two Frenchmen, Guy Manuel de Homem Cristo. So this, he may come from southern France and close to Spain, perhaps. Anyway, they were in a band called Darlin'. And a music critic from Melody Maker, called their music a daft punky trash. Oh, excuse me, a daft punky thrash. So they gave up on their project as Darlin', and then after encountering Acid House and a visit to the U.S., they began incorporating that sound, and then they took that quote by the Melody Maker writer, and they called themselves Daft Punk. They are very heavily influenced by Acid House from the U.S., and then their music, when they brought it back to France, revived house music in the 90s. So when I'm talking about the Acid House from like Chicago and the Detroit techno scene, we're talking late 80s. And so they brought this back to Europe, and France in particular, in the 90s, as how I understand the story. And it became known as French house. So the track I want to play for you from this is Da Funk. The sound is, it's got a little bit of a dated quality to it, but not too much so. There are many other, electronic dance duos and organizations, from this era that some of their releases are definitely, dated and sound that way. Daft Punk, though, still has, despite you can hear that it is a child of the 90s, it nonetheless is retains a freshness that is still appealable today. So moving on, another European German project is this. This is Oktember by the project Gas. This was first released in 1999. My copy is a 2020 reissue. It's on black vinyl, nothing particularly special about that. This is a project by the German musician Wolfgang Voigt. And he is considered one of the founders of minimal techno. And what this album is two sides of drone music in particular. The needle drop I'm playing for you is from side A, known as Tall 90. So we've got the drone sound going on, and it carries on like what you heard in the needle drop all the way through. However, there is incremental additions and buildup throughout the material, until you get to the end. So that is, Gas. The project Gas in the record is Oktember, which, by the way, I heard about on, I believe, it is one of Stunty's live streams. The channel Stunt Rock Confusion. That's where I first heard about it, and then I listened to it online, and I was like, yeah, I'd like to get this. It was not it's an EP, and despite it coming from 1999, it's not, well, it's got a reissue, so it wasn't that expensive. Another one getting a reissue is this here. This is Coil, Queens of the Circulating Library. And this is a reissue that is on clear vinyl. This was first released on CD in the year 2000. The first vinyl release was in 2015, and there was a series of them, but they were all unofficial releases. And then this is a 2023 limited edition remaster, the clear one. This is a full-length drone album from opening track to the end of side 2. And it's one of my favorite Coil albums. I mean, when I put it on for the first time, it was like I had this smile on my face. It just was such a good groove going on. So here's a little needle drop of what's going on with this record. It's, you know, I can't, I don't know from the needle drop if you can experience the same that I did when listening to it. But seriously, when I started listening to it, it was like, man, I smiled through the entire record. And it works both as something you can sit down to and really listen to and lose yourself in, as well as something that you can do other things while it is playing in the background. Very versatile, very versatile. And another Coil record that I picked up recently is this one, the Ape of Naples, which is a three-sided, two-album, you know, 2 LP release, 3 sides with a 4th side being etched. This is another case where it was first released on CD in the year 2005. And then the first vinyl release actually was in Russia, and that was in 2015. And then this copy that I have is a 2021 reissue. I believe this was the final studio album for Coil. And the needle drop I want to play for you is a very well-known song of theirs that has been different iterations of it have appeared on different recordings. And that is the song Teenage Lightning. I love the song Teenage Lightning, and I love the various ways that it has been presented. And so I have a poll, you know, in on my channel. All right, so I have a poll posted that lists the different versions of Teenage Lightning, and you can vote for your favorite one and see if you're familiar with them. If you're not, you can check that list to see which ones they are. Look them up and listen to them. They're all really, really quite good. All right, now my final one for this particular video. I was blown away when I saw this in a store. In fact, I think they had the entire series, but these are not inexpensive albums. Not hugely expensive. I mean, we're talking 40, 50 bucks. But yeah, to buy every one of these in the series, you know, it's a couple $100. And that is this particular series by Ryuichi Sakamoto and Alva Noto. This is Insen, and which was originally released in 2005, and this is a 2022 reissue. Yeah, so it's Ryuichi Sakamoto, and I've been adding his material to my collection. I think what he does is fantastic. It is much more intriguing, his later material, and this is, of course, you know, later in his life, the material. It is a challenge. I mean, I hate using that word, but it really does, this really does challenge you, because here's the thing. When I first started listening to it, I was thinking, wow, we've got this very nice mood piano, simple piano playing. But man, there's a lot of pops and clicks going on here. I must have got a really trashed copy. And then it became clear to me that no, those pops and clicks are part of the recording. They're there intentionally. So it's more like a static click. And that's what this guy, Alva Noto, was doing, all right? Alva Noto is a fellow named Karsten Nikolai. And he's collaborated with Ryuichi Sakamoto on other things. And what they did, what Sakamoto really liked, was the way Noto not only did the production of his records, but the way he manipulated sounds and added them. So you've got Sakamoto playing the piano, and then you've got Nikolai adding these, it's not musique concrète, but it's not musical. So you get these, he manipulates the tape, he adds these pops. I realized that they were not flaws in the record or in the pressing because they're precisely rhythmic, but they're also arrhythmic. That he splices the tape in certain spots where he removes like half a beat from a measure, so it's almost like it's a skip, and then he adds these pops in there, and yeah, it takes a bit to get used to that and accept it as part of the music, and the more regular, I guess you could say, it is, the easier it is to accept. Give you an example. My needle drop is going to be from the track titled Logic Moon. So we have this very delicate and ethereal piano playing, and then this other manipulation, sound manipulation that's going on. I find it fascinating and enjoyable. I really like Sakamoto's work. I like his work post Yellow Magic Orchestra. I have listened to Yellow Magic Orchestra, and Yellow Magic Orchestra to me is a lot like, the German group. Now that I'm drawing a blank. The German electronic pioneer group. Why am I unable to think of them? But it's a similar situation where some of the material I really, really like, and then some of it is too synthy for me. I just, so I'm going back and forth. But afterwards, Kraftwerk. That's who I'm thinking about, the German group Kraftwerk. I kind of had the same reaction. And so with some of the Yellow Magic Orchestra, there are some other pieces I really enjoy. And then there are other pieces that are just too synthy, too pop for my taste. But after Yellow Magic Orchestra, Sakamoto's solo work is just absolutely brilliant. I've talked about him on other videos. I will be talking about him more in the future. Yeah, it's just amazing work. And this series that Insen, this release Insen is part of, I hope to get all of them in my collection. It's just really, really fantastic work. So there you go. These are my among my latest acquisitions in the experimental and electronic kind of avant-garde realm. Hey, leave a comment in the down under. Like, subscribe, but liking the video does really help. Sure, it's great to have subscribers, but liking really helps with the distribution algorithm. I am not making any money on this channel because of the needle drops that I do. I do not get any of the revenue then, it goes to the copyright holder. But I like sharing what I'm listening to with you so you can get kind of an idea about, what it is I am talking about. I am also on Instagram as NewsDude76. That's NEWZDUDE76. You can also find me on Facebook as Calvin Wazoo. I have a page, Calvin Wazoo. Not a lot of people follow that page. It's slowly, every once in a while I'll add somebody, and but I post not just the videos I produce here on YouTube about record collecting and etc. But I also post other videos that I find, articles that are all, music related. Hit the like button, leave a comment in the down under. I do enjoy getting them. And also remember to pray for the people inside your head, for they won't be there when you're dead.